Boston are in white, and our commentators are the Chicago Bulls coach Doug Collins and Bob Neal.
We're underway. Third quarter, Game 5, Eastern Conference Championship Series. They're tied at 2. Ainge, the great move to the hoop, and the tip in by McHale, but they call basket interference. It will not count.
That ball was going to go in. It looked like the English of the ball was spinning that ball back into the basket, and Kevin McHale with those long arms reached up and tapped it in the basket with the ball still on the cylinder, so the shot was negated.
Well, Detroit scored the first basket of this game. It's been their only lead. Lane Beer scored on a layup. Let's see if they can tie on the first basket in the second half. Dumars missing badly. McHale to Ainge, and the Celtics getting back slowly. Parrish very slowly getting back. McHale with the reverse, and he'll go to the line for a three-point opportunity. Robert Parrish did not even get to the timeline. His ankle has to be bothering him.
I think he's going to pick and choose his spots when he runs, but Danny Ainge got bailed out here. He makes a move, he gets in the lane, he has no place to go, but his athletic ability helped him find Kevin McHale. That's playing with each other for 5 or 6 years. You know where to look for a certain guy on the floor. More importantly, it's a three-point play and a third foul on Bill Laimbeer.
So Boston by 5 after Detroit had a chance to tie it. Isaiah Thomas splits the two defenders, misses the shot attempt, and Robert Parrish is fouled as he gets the rebound, and he's fouled by Isaiah Thomas.
Frustration foul, Isaiah Thomas. He missed a tough shot, then he went to try to get it back. Isaiah shot 3 for 8 in the first half, but he did have 7 assists, so he got his team some easy baskets. The one thing with Isaiah, he does not want to get too much where he feels like he has to take the game over by himself.
Dennis Johnson on the drive and the lay-in. The first effective penetrating move by Dennis Johnson in this game. In games 1 and 2, Dennis Johnson made a living driving the lane.
They're going to run isolation for Dantley. They're going to try to let him take the ball to the basket against Larry Bird. Maybe draw a foul.
Here he comes. Can't get the shot off. McHale gets it to Bird. It's a Boston break. They've got the numbers. Bird. And Boston leads by 9. In a minute and a half, Boston has increased their lead by 7 points in 1 minute and 30 seconds. A 20-second Detroit timeout.
So some powerful basketball there from the Boston Celtics. But Detroit hung on, and as we rejoin play at the start of the fourth quarter, they're back to within 1 point. Boston leading 86-85. Remember that a player leaves the game after he's committed 6 fouls. Boston forward Kevin McHale is on 5, and several other players are on 4.
Dumars, now he's got a mismatch. Let's see where it is. It's Sally against Dennis Johnson, but they didn't get it to him. You saw the statistic a minute ago about the front line scoring. Doug told you it would be the significant key to the game, and it's a 1-point game, and Boston's front line has outscored Detroit's by 2, so it's gone right as Doug pointed out. The front line, the forwards, how they score downside. Bird still missing from outside. Roberts misses the tip in.
Well, Detroit wants to push the tempo right now. Any defensive rebound, they'd like to push it up. Don't let Boston get there. That's the kind of shot you want right there.
Laimbeer had it, couldn't get it. So Laimbeer misses following the Bird miss. Both of them had a chance to give their teams a lift there and couldn't do it. Boston continues to lead by 1. 11 minutes to go in this ball game.
Look for Mr. Bird. Watch him. He's going to slide around. He'll come off the screen, and you got to be aware of him at all times.
He came off the screen, but they get it to Seasting. And he misses the perimeter jumper. Seasting, Roberts, Dennis Johnson, Day, and Bird in there for Boston right now. Here's Laimbeer from the outside again. Missing again. Bird rebounding. And he's fouled. No.
They're going to call on Darren Day. Loose ball foul, Darren Day against Dennis Rodman.
Parrish is checking back in. Vinnie Johnson comes back in, running around in midcourt to try to loosen his knee up.
You know, the point I made a while ago about Detroit wanting to push the ball. The reason you want to do that is you want to attack Boston's defense before they can get back and get set. Parrish against the ankle. You want to make sure that they are not being able to get back there and block shots. That's when they make their toughest. Because when that defense sags and sinks and forces you to take tough shots.
Here's a chance to see what the benches for both teams can do. Sally misses badly on the jump hook over Bird. Seasting and Day off the bench. for Boston. Benny Johnson, Sally.
Much Bird on the screen.
And Rodman for Detroit. Bird just threw that one up. Now Detroit running.
Oh my, what a move by Dennis Rodman.
Tremendous athlete. His athletic ability is, the potential in that body is incredible. And Detroit takes a 1-point lead.
You know, Larry Bird is not rested at all in this whole ball game. Will he be able to rest at all now with McHale having foul problems?
You have to think no. Parrish over Rodman. Detroit by 1. That's the biggest Detroit lead since the opening lead of 2. Detroit could build their biggest lead of 3 should they score here. 9:46 remaining in the game. Mahorn walking. Travel. Big turnover. Detroit with 10 turnovers. Boston has 15.
Kevin McHale is going to come in the ball game. Let's see if he comes in for Larry Bird to give Larry Bird a couple minutes rest.
Day's going to check out.
They're not going to allow McHale to check in. They said he was not at the scorer's table.
So Day gets back onto the floor until the next opportunity. We have 9:39 remaining in this game. It is a 1-point Detroit lead. Boston can reclaim it on this possession. Shot clock gets down to 10. Into Parrish. He's effective there. Misses again.
Rodman better hold this out. He made a good move while ago.
Benny Johnson. Dennis Johnson against Mahorn. Sally with the foul. That'll be his 5th. Team foul situation will become very important here. Right now it's not significant for either team. Boston with 1 team foul. Detroit with 1 team foul.
Both teams firing blanks in this 4th period. 1 for 6 for Detroit, 0 for 5 for Boston. So both teams have had an opportunity to maybe make a move, and neither team can put it in the ocean right now.
Lane Beer's 6 for 17. He's out of the ball game right now. McHale off the double team to Johnson.
McHale should be fresh. If anybody on the floor, he should be fresh.
Johnson drives around Mahorn, and Mahorn picks up his 5th foul. So now the foul's becoming significant for Mahorn as he has 5. Sally has 5 for Detroit. McHale and Day with 5 for Boston. Lane Beer checking back in. Let's check that Detroit lineup for you. Rodman, Benny Johnson, Isaiah Thomas, Lane Beer, and Sally, the Detroit lineup. Boston 0 for their last 12. That's incredible.
Detroit has only been able to get a 1-point lead out of this.
Look at the ball movement. And
I tell you what, Rodman showed me something. His last ball game was when he wanted to forget in here. He's hit some big buckets, and right now he is chasing Larry Bird all over the floor, really forcing him to work.
You see the 0 for 7 for Boston. The 0 for 12 goes back to 5 shots in the 3rd quarter. Bird fades away and hits one from about 15. Detroit still leading by 1. At the Garden, Detroit hasn't won here in 5 years. This series is tied at 2. Doug and I were talking at the timeout how intense this game is. Benny Johnson on a great drive, and Parrish goes down with his ankle.
Man, I tell you, Boston is really beat up right now. They're going to have to take a 20-second timeout. Benny Johnson turned the corner on the screen roll. Parrish went up to try to block it, and right now he is in a lot of pain.
Can put no pressure on that left ankle.
Man, oh man.
Ray Melchiori out there helping him off the floor.
Let's take a look at it right here. Robert Parrish coming over. He's trying to give up. Watch his left ankle. Oh, he steps on John Sally's foot. I tell you, what a bad break. You know, it's amazing, Bob, when you have something that bothers you, it seems like every time you turn around, you bang it. You know, you have a sore thumb, it seems like every time you want to open a car door or something, you hit it. But
Ray Melchiori will be working on that left ankle of Robert Parrish. Let's see what...
Robert Parrish, I guarantee you, is going to lace that sneaker up as tight as he can lace it up. And if he has to drag himself through the last 7:19, he'll be out here. He's a vicious competitor who's never gotten enough credit for being the player that he is in this league.
7:19 to go in this ball game. Detroit 91, Boston 88. Can the Pistons hang on at Boston Garden? They've got a great opportunity with McHale in foul trouble, Parrish injured and out of the game. Ainge penetrating, feeding to Dennis Johnson. Shot clock to 6. Johnson in the paint, blocked by Sally. He's called for a travel first. Detroit ball.
How about Detroit right now? They've got 2 rookies on the floor, Sally and Rodman. Punch time in Boston Garden.
16 Boston turnovers, Doug. Lane Beer gets it to Isaiah Thomas. That one could have been a big nail. Ainge.
Air ball.
John Sally with a nice feed to Dennis Rodman, the 2-hand jam, and all of a sudden it is a 5-point Detroit lead, their biggest of the ball game, and Casey Jones just looked forlornly at his bench, as though I need to make a change here, but I have nobody to use.
Yeah, McHale has not taken a shot since he's come in.
He's fouled by Isaiah Thomas.
Kevin McHale spent all that time on the bench. He's the freshest guy Boston has on the floor, and they have not looked to get the ball inside to him.
Look at this. Robert Parrish, who went out and couldn't walk, is back just as you predicted.
He can bat.
He'll be playing in pain. Fred Roberts sits down. It's a 5-point Detroit lead, 6:21 remaining. Trying to go to McHale. They do.
That's who they got to go to right there. They're really doubling well down on him.
Ainge. Look at Dennis Johnson. He kept that alive. Bird's open. McHale with a pass. And the foul. Let's check carefully to see who this foul is on.
Kevin McHale spotting Larry Bird underneath. Right here, Rodman makes a rookie mistake. When he hears the whistle, he should have grabbed him. He let him finish the shot. And when you hear that whistle, Bob, you got to grab him. You can't let him get 3.
Now Rodman with 5.
Let him get 2, but don't let him get 3.
Bird has threed him to death here. That was another 3-point. That's 4 3-point conversions for Larry Bird at the free throw line. And now Detroit leads by 2 with 6 minutes remaining. Detroit has 3 players with 5 fouls.
Oh, wow.
Goaltending on Robert Parrish. It's a 4-point Detroit lead.
Goaltending is interfering with the ball on its downward path into the basket. This isn't allowed, and the basket is awarded.
Boston has all 5 starters in there. 2 rookies on the floor for Detroit, along with their super sub, Vinnie Johnson. It was tipped out of bounds by Detroit. It will belong to Boston.
We've got to give Detroit a lot of credit. Right now, they have a very active team on the floor. They have 2 shot blockers, Rodman and Sally.
Bird for 3. No, only 2. He was stepped on the line.
Well, Rodman took a nap that time. You can't get off Larry Bird.
More significantly, Larry Bird finally hits from long range. Detroit by 1. 5:20 to go in the game. Thomas blocked by Bird. Ainge tried to feed to Bird. Good defensive play by Detroit. Sally doesn't get the roll. It's going to be a Detroit-Boston foul, loose ball. That's on Ainge. He has 3 now. Make that 3 Detroit players with 5 fouls. Mahorn, Rodman, and Sally. 2 Boston players. McHale and Day have 5.
You know, Boston's got a run left in them. Detroit's going to have to execute here. You can bet that Boston's going to suck it up and make a run, especially on the defensive end. Question is, do they have enough strength to get it done or not? Got a man over the corner wide open, Isaiah Thomas.
He's got to shoot it over Robert Parrish. Illegal defense called against Boston. Jess Kersey made the call. It'll be a technical, and the free throw will be shot by Isaiah Thomas. Ainge upset. We were talking about the bench. Right now, the 2 rookies and super sub Vinnie Johnson in there for Detroit. Detroit's bench has outscored Boston's 35-6 in this game.
Well, I want to tell you what, there's nothing substitute for fresh legs. And especially with fresh legs and young rookies that are playing with enthusiasm and they're playing well. And right now, you got to give a lot of credit to the Rodman and Sally on the defensive end with their shot blocking right now has changed a lot of this ball game around.
Timeout on the floor with 4 minutes 41 seconds remaining in this game. Detroit leading it by 2. Bob Neal and Doug Collins with you from Boston Garden. Detroit by 2 with 4:41 to go in the ball game. Let's see who Detroit sends out. Their starters: Ainge and Johnson, Parrish, Bird, and McHale. That's for Boston. For Detroit, it's Sally, Lane Beer, Dennis Rodman, Vinnie Johnson, and Isaiah Thomas. And it's been a long, dry spell at the Garden for the Pistons.
I think you can see what Detroit's doing right now, too. They're going defense. They've got Adrian Dantley on the bench. They've kept him there a long time. They've gone with the rookies.
Bird blocked it, but couldn't control it. Lane Beer has it blocked by McHale. Foul in the backcourt. It's on Isaiah Thomas.
Be interesting to see how long Chuck Daly stays with this lineup. Does he come back with Adrian Dantley, maybe for a Sally, and keep Rodman possibly on Larry Bird?
And here's something significant. Detroit into the penalty with that call. That means Boston will be shooting free throws the rest of the way. The Celtics with only 2, and there's the substitution you're talking about.
Well, you got to think now you've got to go with some offense, too. He's going to go with Rodman. That'll put Adrian Dantley matched up on Larry Bird. So let's just look to see if the Boston Celtics try to go in the post and try to get to the free throw line with Bird against Dantley. Detroit can go to the basket with it, but Boston can be aggressive because they've got 2 fouls to waste.
Bird hasn't missed from the line, has 33 points to match his number, and now he has 34. It is tied at 95 with 4.5 minutes to go.
Joe Dumars in the ball game in the backcourt with Vinnie Johnson, so they're giving Isaiah Thomas a rest. They've got Sally. Let's see if they go to Adrian Dantley.
Sally to Lane Beer. He couldn't control it. Boston can take the lead again. Bird finds Johnson. He penetrates over Lane Beer off the glass. Parrish is there to put it and miss it. Lane Beer to Johnson. Detroit running, and Parrish is down again. Sally with the tip in.
Robert Parrish cannot get up. The game is still going on. So, you know, Robert Parrish, I hate to say he's in the 3-second lane right now, but they can call you for that being in the lane.
And now they get the timeout. Ray Melchiori comes back out. 3:41 to go in the game. Detroit leading by 2. And that man is playing on nothing but heart. He went out with an ankle injury that would keep most people out of the game, came back in, and now he's twisted it again. If he can come back in here again, he might want to get his own TV show. Heal ankles.
I tell you, Robert Parrish is a warrior. Let's watch what happens. He gets the rebound. Watch it now. He's going to go up. And again, he comes down on somebody's ankle. He came down on Larry Bird's ankle that time.
Robert Parrish is finished for this day. What an effort he gave. Parrish had 11 points, 8 rebounds, some significant blocked shots in the game. And now Detroit likes to penetrate. Parrish keeps him from doing that, along with McHale. McHale's got 5 fouls. Parrish is out of there.
Well, you look at the lineup that Detroit has on the floor right now. They have a quick, aggressive team. I still think you're going to see Bird in the post against Dantley, maybe trying to draw a foul. Also, Kevin McHale has not touched the ball in the low post. He's not attempted a shot since he's been back in the ball game.
Exactly. When he went out with 5 fouls, McHale had 18. He still has 18. Bird with 34 points and 12 rebounds and 7 assists. Boston looking to tie on this possession. Bird over Sally. Sally got a piece of it. Out of bounds. Jess Kersey couldn't see it, and Jack Madden gave it to Detroit. And Dennis Johnson is berserk.
I'm surprised he didn't get a technical. He really came at Jack Madden. Oh, man, this is a wild game.
Detroit by 2, 3:18 to go.
On isolation, Dantley against Darren Day.
Gets help from Ainge. Wild pass. Shot clock to 6. Johnson over McHale. Oh, my! Vinnie Johnson over the 6'11" Kevin McHale. Boston trailing now by 4. McHale finds Day open. Gets the layup and the foul. A chance to pull to within 1 for the Celtics. The Celtics know that if they cannot win here, they have to go back to Detroit on Thursday.
Well, Kevin McHale got the double team, and nobody picked up. Darren Day, John Sally turned his back, and he was playing Bird. He's the weak side man. He's got to pick up the cutter. He's the only man that can see him coming, and that's John Sally has fouled out of the game. They're now coming back to Rick Mahorn,
who's got 5 fouls. But Sally played very well defensively, except on that example.
He sure did. But when you're on the box that time, you've got to be able to rotate over and pick up the man cutting to the basket. We're on that odd point right now, and Vinnie Johnson, let's see if he looks to continue to take the outside shot.
It's tough to stay in my seat. What a ball game. Detroit by 1. They get the switch now in the double team. Lane Beer has it batted away by Day. What a defensive play for Day. And a foul in the backcourt. Loose ball foul. It's on Lane Beer, and he gets 4. And Boston's in the penalty all the way. The Celtics have committed only 2 team fouls in this quarter.
Darren Day is fresh. He has fresh legs, and you can see the difference. He's got a 3-point play. He rotated up nicely on the last play. Bill Lambier made a sluggish pass. He just put the ball up for grabs. Darren Day got a piece of it, knocked it loose.
Day with a big free throw, and he goes to the line again. It's tied at 99. You know, see the marks of war on Bill Lambier.
Darren Day was the hero in Milwaukee in Game 4.
Boston has the lead, 2:39 remaining. The rafters are talking at Boston Garden. Wonder if Detroit's listening. Shot clock to 9. Vinnie Johnson over Darren Day. Comes up short. Foul. It's going to be called on Day, and that will be 6 on Darren Day, if in fact that's Day. Let's just make double sure that it is Darren Day. Day has just fouled out of the game. Parrish is in the locker room injured. Darren Day has to sit down. And now a big substitution call for K.C. Jones.
He's going to go with 3 guards. He's going to, well, looks like he's going to go with Seasting to go with 3 guards. That means that Dennis Johnson, with his size, will probably play Adrian Dantley at the forward position.
Giving up only an inch, but it's a tough way to play a great post-up player with the lower body strength of Dantley.
Let's look at the matchups now, which are going to be ever so important. You'll probably have Danny Ainge playing Vinnie Johnson, Jerry Seasting against Dumars, and Dennis Johnson against Adrian Dantley. Interestingly enough, right now, Chuck Daly has decided to take Isaiah Thomas out of the ballgame as Isaiah's going to bench the last 2 minutes.
It's tied at 100. Detroit leads it by 1. 2:21 to go. The official word on Robert Parrish from trainer Ray Melchiori: will not return because of the sprained ankle. We certainly knew that when we saw him leave. 101-100. Detroit, McHale. They force him out high. Shot clock to 9. In the post, he's fouled. He'll go to the line. And it's Bill Lambier's 5th foul. Boston with 3 team fouls, remember, and that, of course, was a shooting foul, but any other foul on the part of Detroit sends Boston to the line. Celtics down by 1.
He's going back in now with Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah will come in for Dumars.
We're going to have a whale of 2 minutes here. Whoa.
You know, the interesting thing now in this ball game, Detroit has their best offensive team on the floor. They've got Isaiah, Vinnie, Dantley, Lambier, and Mahorn. They've got their best offense, but it's not their best defensive team. And that could cause them problems as they come down the stretch right now.
McHale and Bird in the low post particularly.
Absolutely. You've got Adrian Dantley now who's going to be matched up against the Dennis Johnson out on the floor. And you've got Bird matched up against the Mahorn.
And Seasting trying to play Isaiah Thomas, who's trying to clear everybody away. Seasting's all over him, and they call Seasting for a foul. That's only the 4th. Detroit still will not go to the line.
I think they've called it on Dennis Johnson in the post. They've tried to get an isolation with Dantley. DJ has him locked up, and they've called a foul. From here on in now, it'll be free throws for both teams, and Boston leading by 1.
Seasting all over Isaiah Thomas, too. Here he is again. Isaiah gets it to Dantley. There's the double team. Dantley gets to Lambier. Bird gets out on him. Bothered the shot. Doesn't fall. Rebound Benny Johnson. Rebound Dennis Johnson. Boston by 1 with a minute and a half to go. Oh, Detroit had the chance, couldn't get it to fall. Timeout, Boston. There's the story. 1:26 to go in the game. Boston leading by 1. Detroit has Mahorn, Lambier, Thomas, and Rodman with 5. Sally's already fouled out. Day has fouled out for Boston, and McHale has 5. Nobody else with more than 3 for the Boston Celtics.
During the timeout, they took out Jerry Seaston, brought in Fred Roberts, a bigger player, to match Rodman. Watch Bird throwing the ball in out of bounds. He is dangerous. Keep your eye on him because he'll throw the ball in and they'll look to try to rub him off the screen.
They just did. Mahorn playing Bird now. There's Bird off the screen from the corner. Big basket by Larry Bird. That's a 2-pointer. Detroit by 3 with 1:13, and Bird has 36. And after the shooting slump, Doug Collins, Larry Bird, with the confidence born of the star he is, hits the long-distance jumper.
Let me tell you something about great shooters and great scorers. They are never in slumps. They're going to keep shooting it, and Larry Bird, he's going to come across, he's going to set a screen, and then he fades back to the corner. Mahorn with a hand in his face, nothing but the bottom of the net. Still 1:13 to go, 3-point lead for Boston now. Remember I said a while ago that Detroit had their best offensive team on the floor, but not their best defensive team. And what happens, you get a run going, and then you have to substitute because of fouls, and you get out of sync. And Boston is showing terrific courage tonight. If Boston wins this ball game, I bet you Parrish didn't even go on the trip. They'll rest him like they did Game 6 against Milwaukee. If there is a Game 7, hopefully he'll come back and get ready.
Big possession for Detroit. Lambier way out high. Seasting all over Isaiah Thomas, and he's called for the foul. It'll be a shooting foul. In a way, from a Boston point of view, maybe not that bad a foul, in the sense that the free throw opportunities are made and Boston gets their hand on the ball with 1:08 to go.
Well, what that does, though, it gives Chuck Daly a chance to substitute, and he can start making defensive substitutions now. The clock stopped. He can bring Rodman in the game. He can bring Dumars in the game, so he can get his better defenders in the game and take out his offensive players.
Isaiah Thomas makes it a 2-point game. He can pull the Pistons to within 1, and here come Rodman and Dumars.
You can bet that when Boston comes down, in some way Larry Bird is going to be part of the play. Either as a passer or setting a screen and rolling back to the ball or trying to get to the free throw line.
1:01, exactly a minute remaining. Boston by 1. Here's Bird against Mahorn. Ainge from the top of the key. Big bucket by Ainge. It rattled home. Lambier answers for Detroit. Time remaining at the lower right, 45 seconds. Every possession very important.
Well, I tell you, Mahorn ran up there and almost fouled Bird. You don't want to foul Bird. He's a 90% free throw shooter. You want to make Boston right now beat you from the field. You don't want to put him on the free throw line.
10 on the shot clock. 9, 8, Bird down low. Misses. Mahorn rebounds and calls timeout with 27 seconds to go in this game. It'll probably not be an overtime situation because it is a 1-point game, and Bird missing a critical close-in shot. Mahorn with the rebound. Casey Jones coaching through the sadness of the death of his mother yesterday. Chuck Daly, he wants to continue building the winning ways in Detroit. Says he knows everybody wants to beat Boston and LA. He says he wants to get this franchise to where everybody wants to beat the Pistons. And right now, Boston is first in line in that desire. They lead by 1. 27 seconds to go. It's Detroit's ball.
See, Dantley cannot throw the ball into the backcourt, so he's going to make sure he gets the ball inbounds.
He does make the pass along the sideline.
They got Isaiah Thomas out on the top of the floor against Seaston.
16 seconds. Seaston right in his face. Thomas with a very big bucket, and Boston uses their last timeout. Detroit with 1 remaining. And it's Detroit by 1, 17 seconds. So Boston goes for the final shot.
Well, interesting strategy there. Chuck Daly decided to go quickly with it. He did not want to use much clock, giving his team a chance there if the shot was missed to rebound it, or if Boston was able to get it, then they were able to have enough time to make it fit. But watch the shot as it goes up. You're going to see Rodman react. Still plenty of time. 1 point lead, 17 seconds to go. Larry Bird on the floor for Boston. Don't celebrate that horn sounds.
McHale still in the ball game, and Bird. You must wonder if Dennis Johnson might handle the ball, then get it to Bird, then look to get it to McHale low. What do you call on this, Doug Collins?
Well, I think you're going to see probably Boston run some kind of screen action on the baseline. Maybe a guard pinning across, popping Kevin McHale into the low post where they can look for him. Weak side action with Bird maybe coming off the screen. And I tell you, Larry Bird, unless he has a wide open shot, will drive the ball to the hoop and put the onus on the official to make the call. He will not let the game be determined by a jump shot unless he's absolutely wide open.
And Chuck Daly is talking to his Pistons. What does he say?
Well, guys, we got 17 seconds right now. We need to stop. We do not want to foul. We do not want to give up any touch fouls going to the basket for 3-point plays. If you're in a position and you're beaten, make sure the foul you give is hard enough where you don't give up a 3-point play. If we're going to give up something, let's make it be a perimeter jump shot, and let's not foul a jump shooter.
Kevin McHale with 20 points in this game. Only 2 points in the 4th quarter, though. He's been ridden with 5 fouls. Bird will inbound, 17 seconds remaining. Mahorn talking to Bird right now. He's right in front of here talking to Bird. Into Dennis Johnson.
We're going to run a flare for Bird coming off the McHale screen.
There's Bird with the ball against Mahorn.
He'll take it to the hoop. You can bet. He's going to try to draw a foul.
It's blocked. And Seasting hit it off of a Detroit player. No, it is. Here's a disparity in the call. They're going to give the ball to Detroit. Bird steals it. Johnson, layup, Boston, 1 second left. Detroit timeout, 1 second left. Bird steals it and gets it to Johnson at the buzzer. 1 second remaining.
Oh my, what a mistake by Detroit. They should have called timeout and took the ball at half court. They threw a floating pass into Lambeer. Bird steals it. Oh, what a mistake. Veteran players cannot make that kind of mistake.
Look at Walton. He thinks it's a missed shot. He thinks the game is over. Seasting had tried to throw the ball off of a Detroit body to get the Boston call. He did not get that. It was Detroit ball. And then, as Doug told you, the mistake on the inbounds play. And with Bird anywhere near you, you can't do it.
You've got to call timeout at worst and regroup. Chuck Daly was signaling for a timeout. They threw a floating pass inbounds. Oh my, what a cardinal mistake. Now 1 second.
108-107 Boston. Game 5 Eastern Conference Championship Series. And here it is again.
Well, let's watch this. First of all, it's a floating pass. Lambeer does not meet it. Bird picks it off. And then a driving shot by DJ. Man, oh man.
It'll be inbounded at half court by Adrian Dantley. Let's check the matchups. Mahorn's guarded by Roberts. Isaiah Thomas by Ainge. Bird is on Lambeer. McHale waving those long arms. Lambeer out of bounds. Boston will win this game. The buzzer sounds just as the ball goes out of bounds. There was less than a second remaining on the tick of the clock. And Detroit's valiant effort comes up a point short on a critical inbounds mistake. Boston's Larry Bird picked off the pass, got it to Dennis Johnson. He hit the clutch layup, and Boston wins at 108-107 to take a 3-2 lead in the Eastern Conference Championship Series.